Good morning, my CD friends. So today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is garlic. So I grow garlic every year, but what I haven't done in the past is utilize it to its fullest potential. So we're going to talk about ways to preserve garlic. I'm sure a lot of these ways look very unusual, and some of them you may have seen before. So let's start with basic. A head of garlic. Did you know that you could take a head of garlic and just throw the whole thing in the freezer? Preserves nicely. Pull it out when you need it, chop it up, and you're good to go. It's as simple as that. You can also peel it and dice it and freeze it that way. The next way I use garlic is here, is in this little jar. I diced it up. I keep this one in the refrigerator. And this is diced up with olive oil over it. And I just take this whenever I'm cooking something that I'm going to be sauteing. I'll just take a scoop of it, put it right in the frying pan, and it cuts down on my prep time, and it's a good way to preserve the garlic. So olive oil and garlic in the fridge in a container will last a long time. One of the oldest ways of preserving without refrigeration, and obviously most people keep garlic in the basement or in a cool, dry place. If it's soft neck, braid it up, and it'll keep for a long time. But if you want to keep it for years, you can ferment the garlic. So this is fermented garlic. So basically what I did is I took cloves of garlic, still wrapped in their paper, and it's submerged in apple cider vinegar. You see it does a chemical reaction, and it turns the garlic a little blue. Pretty cool. Still perfectly good to use, and it will last for literally years. When you want to use a clove of garlic, you reach in there, you're pickling it. You know, the most basic form of pickling. Reach in there, peel it, rinse it, and you're good to go. It's still going to be crunchy and tasty. What I've been experimenting with this year is dehydrated garlic. So this is garlic that I peeled and put in the blender, diced it all up in the blender, and then I put it on my dehydrator and I dried it. You can see it's big chunks of garlic. So if I'm making soup or stew and I don't want to use the olive oil method, this is shelf stable. And it'll dry for quite a long time, you know, I mean, years and years and years. It's not going to go bad. And then from here, when I get low in my pantry and I need more garlic powder, which we all know how expensive garlic powder is, I just take this dry chunk garlic and I put it in a blender. I use a coffee grinder, but you could use probably any blender. Or a pestle and mortar, which is how they did it without electricity, and makes beautiful, fragrant garlic powder. So if there was smell-o-vision, I'd let you smell this because it smells amazing. Okay, so what's the next thing I do with it? So there is a ton of garlic in this. You may remember I said I was making fire cider. So the garlic is in this fire cider along with horseradish and hot peppers and turmeric and ginger and so many delicious things, different types of onions. And this is also fermented in apple cider vinegar with some spices. You can Google fire cider and you'll be able to see how to make it. It's great. One of the best home remedies you can have when you start getting cold. It boosts your immune system. You take a shot of it a couple days in a row, and it'll kick out any cold that thinks about starting in your system. This is another way you can preserve garlic. So this is diced up garlic in honey. And as you can see, the honey preserves it. And when you need like a natural antibiotic, you can take 1 teaspoon of this. I'm not a doctor. Do your own research. This is how I preserve garlic. This is how I use it. Is garlic and raw honey. And I'll eat 1 clove at a time when needed. It preserves, and it's like having a pantry full of antibiotics, but natural. Here's another way to preserve garlic that a lot of you may have never seen, because I know I never did. This is garlic diced up in vodka. So I'm making a garlic tincture. Basically, I'm taking diced up garlic, put it in a tincture, just like I make all my other tinctures. And you just shake it up daily, leave it in a dark place. I normally have these in a dark closet. And then I'll strain off the vinegar, or strain off the garlic. I'll probably freeze it or use it. And then I'll have that garlic tincture to add to any of my home remedies for whatever ails you. So there's some pickled eggs. So just a reminder, you can put just about anything in straight vinegar, white vinegar or apple cider vinegar to preserve it. This is how people preserved without electricity. You take the items, you drop them in the vinegar, and it preserves them. So these are pickled eggs I just made this year, January. And then here's another big jar I did of fermented pickles. I did many of these. I'm just going to put them in the basement with my stored goods, and when I need vinegar, it's down there. So I'll have the fresh garlic, I'll have the powdered garlic, the dried garlic, got the honey garlic, got the garlic that's in the fridge, in the olive oil, and it's as simple as if you just want to use your freezer, you just take the garlic and pop it right in the freezer. So I would love to hear if there are ways that you use your garlic besides the ones I mentioned, because I would be more than happy to include those. I'm always looking for new ways to utilize garlic. It's one of the best things you can grow in your garlic garden. Take care, my seedy friends.